Stories of War. World War III. Based on the song lyrics and poems of John Eaton. My best friend. The war had been raging for years, tearing nations apart and leaving cities in ruins. The air was filled with the constant drone of drones and bombers, while the ground shook beneath the feet of advancing armies. Yet, amid the chaos, John and Dave still felt a sense of normality. John was the kind of friend who could always be counted on. No matter the situation, he was there, ready with a joke or a song to lighten the mood. He was the life of every gathering, always quick to remind Dave of the simple joys of life, even in dark times. Dave, on the other hand, was quieter, the more serious of the two. A man who worked long hours at a low-paying job, just trying to make enough to get by. Despite the war that raged around them, Dave's dream had always been simple. To be able to marry the love of his life and give her the future they both dreamed of far away from the destruction. One evening, just after sunset, Dave sat down at his kitchen table as the sky glowed orange with the remnants of a distant fire. He'd been waiting for this moment, though he never truly expected it. The letter was there in front of him, its government seal marking it as a draft notice. The war had escalated, and now it was his turn to fight. His hands shook as he opened the letter, the words bleeding together as he tried to make sense of them. He wasn't prepared for this. He had always assumed it was something that happened to others, not to him. He didn't know how to say goodbye, or even if he could. And then, as always, John appeared at his door. The familiar knock. The kind that never needed asking. "Hey man, got a minute?" Close quote, John asked as he stepped inside, a grin on his face despite the grim situation. He didn't need to look at the letter to know what had happened. Dave just handed it to him, his heart heavy with the knowledge that everything would change. "Guess it's time, huh?" Close quote, John said, still grinning. "Come on, we'll get through this." "We always do." Dave sat down heavily, feeling the weight of the world pressing in. "I'm not sure I can do this, John. It feels too much." John sat beside him, clapping him on the back. "Listen, man, you don't have to do it alone. You've always been there for me, and I'm gonna be there for you. Together, we'll get through this. That's what best friends do, right?" Close quote. Dave nodded slowly, finding a flicker of reassurance in his words. "Yeah, I guess so." The following days passed in a blur. John and Dave, both now soldiers, were thrust into the chaos of the battlefield. They found themselves on the front lines, fighting in an unimaginable world of destruction and death. There were no more peaceful days, no more quiet moments to sit and talk about the future. The fighting was brutal, unrelenting. Every step they took forward felt like a step into darkness. But no matter how harsh the world became, John remained Dave's constant. His voice, even in the heat of battle, always found a way to lift Dave's spirits. "Hey Dave," close quote, John would call out over the sounds of gunfire and explosions. "We're gonna get through this, all right? Just stick with me, man." Dave could only nod, taking comfort in his friend's unwavering determination. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The war took its toll, but John and Dave remained steadfast. Through every attack, every lost battle, and every night spent huddled in the mud, they found strength in each other. When Dave doubted, John reminded him of the dream they both shared, a dream of peace, of a world where they could both return home and live the lives they had always wanted. Dave wanted nothing more than to see the woman he loved, to ask her to be his wife. But the war was not finished yet. They had seen so much. The death, the destruction, the sheer hopelessness of it all. But they held on to the hope that one day, when the war was over, they could finally live out the dreams they had put on hold. The war had come to a head. The enemy forces were closing in, and the world was on the brink of collapse. John and Dave, along with the few remaining soldiers, were tasked with a final mission that would determine their country's fate. As they stood side by side on the front lines, looking out at the advancing enemy, Dave turned to John, his heart heavy with the weight of everything they had been through. "John, if we don't make it, I just want you to know, you're the best friend I've ever had." John smiled, his eyes still filled with the same determination that had driven him all along. "Same here, man. We're in this together. Always." And so, side by side, they fought for their country, for their future, and for the friendship that has seen them through it all. In the end, they were victorious, but it came at a price. Many lives were lost, but the bond between John and Dave remained unbroken. After the dust settled and the world began to rebuild, John and Dave returned home. The war had changed them both, but it had also strengthened their resolve to live the lives they had once dreamed of. Dave, finally able to propose to the woman he loved, found peace in her arms. John, always by his side, watched as his friend's dreams came true, knowing that they had survived together, and that was enough. And in the quiet of their small town, as they watched the children play, they knew that no matter what came next, they would always have each other. After all, true friends are always there through the worst of times and into the future, whatever it might hold.